what's going on, Insomniacs? Midnight Sun 518 here, and I am covering my mic. So today's video is a little bit different than what I usually end up putting out for you guys. It's definitely more of a opinion-based video, but I did my best to show you kind of what the basis of that opinion is, using some numbers and that kind of stuff. I don't have any graphs or anything like that. I didn't put any effort into, you know, frame by frame in the video figuring out exactly what number was happening where. So I'm sorry if that's the kind of video that you're looking for. That's a lot of work, and I work a full-time job, so it's kind of hard to do that kind of stuff on the side. Anyways, I got the Overland torque tune, which is the kind of colloquial name for it. The company is called Overland Tailor Tuning, and they do a Tacoma tune, which is dope. It's an engine and transmission tune, and it changes so much about the functionality of the truck, how it shifts, when it shifts, and it's very, very good. I got it done a few months ago, probably about 2 months now, I'd have to say, maybe 3. I don't remember the exact date. And I've enjoyed it. I haven't driven the Tacoma a heck of a lot since I had the tune done, just because I've had a few other things that have been happening. Keep an eye on the channel so that you can see all that. The driving that I have done, I've noticed a massive difference with how the truck performs on just general street and all that sort of stuff. So a little bit different video today because it's a lot of me talking at you like I'm doing right now. Difference is it's going to be me talking at you while the camera's looking at the dashboard on the car, along with my scan gauge that I have installed to show you a little bit of the live data coming off of the ECU to be able to show you more qualitatively what I'm talking about. So hope you enjoy. Let's hop right into it.
So here I am sitting by the fire. Big fire. I like it a lot. I was just thinking about something real quick. So I haven't put out a video yet kind of talking about my gripes and complaints when it comes to the drivetrain of a 3rd gen Tacoma. Apparently it's the same for 5th gen 4Runners, and really the 2nd gen Tacoma, and I think the 4th and 3rd gen 4Runners, because they're all the same engine and transmission setup and the same tune-ish. But yeah, there's so much throttle lag while you're driving. There's a lot of slack in the drivetrain, so you'll feel you probably heard it a lot of like kind of thing when I'm on flat ground or I start going down a hill or something like that. It's very difficult to kind of manage the throttle control and maintain an even speed. It was definitely better in 4-low, obviously, because it's the low range gears. You have a hell of a lot larger of a gear ratio that kind of soaks up a lot of that slack. But whenever I was in 4-low and my Tacoma decided it wanted to upshift a gear, it absolutely went crazy, freaking out and sending way more power than I wanted it to, in order to give it a little bit of boost, like an RPM boost, in order to upshift, right? But that's not what I wanted at all. You know, I'm going over an obstacle. I want to be able to control what the truck is doing at all times. And though I really am happy that I have an automatic instead of a manual, because being in the manual would be a pain in the ass when you're in first gear trying to get going over top of something and just RIP your clutch. But at the same time, you have so much more control over your speed and over what the truck is actually doing and actually going to do, you know?
The other super frustrating part about it is when I'm driving, I consider myself a good driver, right? And I pay attention to my car and what it's doing and what it likes to do. And with the Mazda, I was able to, you know, very easily gauge its shifting points, right? So say I want to change lanes, or say I want to kill cruise control and maintain whatever RPM I'm running or something like that, right? With the Mazda, it was just bam, you know, I could just give it a little bit of gas, I could kill cruise control, and the Mazda would be like, all right, man, you want to stay in this gear. With the Tacoma, it's such a fine line on throttle response in order to maintain your RPM or your gear or whatever, and I can't nail it ever, right? If I cancel cruise control, either there's not enough throttle and it says, okay, I'll upshift, right? And if I give it too much throttle, then it's like, oh, you want to upshift, you want to go, right? But it's not even like it goes. It doesn't send it because it's a freaking truck. It's a tank with like 1,000 extra pounds on it than factory. So there's no guessing, there's no gauging, and it's very, very annoying, especially when I cancel cruise control for the purpose of moving through traffic and going around somebody. You know, I want it to maintain that gear that it's in, so that I know what my power band is and what use I can get out of the truck, you know, in that moment. So if I want to move around somebody quickly and all of a sudden, bam, the gear decides it wants to upshift, well, I'm screwed, right? Because I don't have that power anymore. And then when I give it more gas and the truck is like, oh crap, you really wanted to go, that's my bad, and it gives me the gear that I want, the truck will lurch, and it takes a second to apply the power from that lower gear to the wheels so I can do anything with it. And at that point, there's no reason to even do it. I'm already, either I'm screwed, you know, in the situation that I'm in, or I made it through it, you know, on that lower or higher gear. So there's no guessing, there's no gauging. It's very frustrating, and I don't like it. I don't really know exactly how this video is going to go. I just want to kind of go over a couple of things that all like Tacoma and apparently 4Runner owners very much have complaints about when it comes to their car, and kind of the ways that we can fix it and what I plan on doing to fix it, along with included in this video, I'm sure that I'm also going to have the post fixing it, right? So I'm just going to kind of go for a little bit of a drive here. I'll get up onto the road and I'll show you some of what I'm talking about. So the biggest thing is when it comes to how the Tacoma Toyota Tacoma motor operates, it is not very good with its gear. I wouldn't say shifting, but it's gear like choices while you're going down the road, right? It very rarely will drop into 6th gear in order to, you know, I guess, I don't know, maximize whatever that power is from the gearing. It very rapidly changes between the different gears while you are, you know, accelerating on the gas pedal, using cruise control. Any slight change in the hill while you're on cruise control, it'll kick it down a gear and bring the RPM up to, you know, 2,500 or even 3,000, depending on the elevation of that hill that you're going up, which is not good for gas mileage. I can't imagine that it would be good on the transmission to be continuously shifting back and forth like that. So I'll have a little bit of footage here just kind of showing RPM wise what the truck is doing.
Well, let's try this again. Maybe the camera will actually stay up this time. Awesome. So now if I give it a little bit of gas, and then I want to maintain, there it is. It'll do the thing. If I don't continuously apply more gas, it will, I think that's engaging the torque converter clutch. Well, I'll be able to show you kind of what happens once I get up to 60 miles an hour over here, and then you'll actually be able to kind of watch how the cruise control aspects, you'll see the truck upshift and downshift for honestly no reason. It doesn't even sound like the engine is working that much harder, which would give it more reason, I guess, in order to downshift or disengage the torque converter clutch, but it just decides to do it on its own with effectively no reason. So truck didn't even put in any more work. I didn't even level out on ground and it decided to drop it into 5th gear. I don't understand why it's doing that. And you can see there was no real change in engine load, so why did it do that? And now we're going downhill again and it's still maintaining 5th gear. Thank you for letting me know traffic is moving. All right, so we're at 20 miles an hour, and there's that weird thing where RPM kind of dropped and then it decided to upshift, and I have to give it a lot of gas force, as you saw that change in pedal position, for it to then do anything with it. I couldn't really tell if it downshifted. I'll be able to see in post, but it definitely was acting sluggish for sure. It did not want to keep whatever, I guess maybe it's not a gear, but especially when I'm in traffic trying to get moving, you know, to get out of the way of something, I don't want my truck hesitating to try to figure out what gear it's supposed to be in. I want it to maintain the lower gear, the higher RPM at the expense of my gas mileage, so that I know that I will always have the availability of that power. Because the power band for these trucks is not at, you know, 1200 RPM where it likes to sit to maintain the low gas mileage. It's higher up in the 2000 to 2500 RPM range, which is fixed with the 4th gen Tacomas. They managed to get the power band shifted all the way down to right around that 1500 RPM range, which is, oh Jesus, which is incredible because you're always in that power band, right? No matter what. Super amazing. And I wish that I had that option in this truck, but I don't, unfortunately. Maybe I just need to go buy a 4th gen. All right, so here we go. Same amount of throttle response, hitting right around 35, and it decides it wasn't as bad. Oh, there it is. It kicked down in the RPM in order to upshift to 4th, which is not what I wanted it to do because I'm still accelerating. You know what I mean? So I don't really know exactly what to say. Obviously, I'm not happy with the current tune of the Tacoma, and but it's not bad. You know, the truck drives. It does what it's supposed to do. Most people that are not the vehicle, I don't know, the people that desire to do car things. Most people that are doing all the car stuff and whatnot, they don't really care, because they bought the truck just to drive it as is, right? I do care, because I'm modifying my truck and I'm doing stuff and I want to be able to get the responsiveness out of it that I expect, right? So it's most unfortunate that I don't have that option with the stock vehicle configuration. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and meet this guy, Jay Anderson, Low Country Tuning, and great guy. And I'm super excited because he's going to be installing the Overland torque tune. So let's head over and meet up with him real quick. And hopefully he can kind of explain a little bit about what it is that this tune is going to be providing for us and for the experience of driving the Tacoma. Yeah, let's go check it out. So yeah, I'm on the highway cruising at about 68, 69 miles per hour. Cruise control is on, and I figured I would show you kind of what the truck likes to do on the slight changes in elevation on the road. So you can see that it already decided to downshift to 5th on the slightest of inclines. Now we're on a slight decline. We're still maintaining 5th, chilling right about 2000 RPM. See, a little bit more of an uphill, and it kicked it down into 4th. Now I will go back up to 5th, and let's see if it's going to drop it down to 6th on this downgrade coming up here, or I guess up to 6th. It should. Yeah, there it goes. But as soon as we level out, it's going to kick it back down to 5th. There it is.
Yep, so you're on the mild medium tune, so we'll go around in non-ECT first, and then we'll hit ECT, and you'll see kind of the differences. You should already notice the difference.
Yep. I definitely, it feels like being in, not the sport, but the city mode for the pedal commander, kind of.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, I ran the pedal commander for about 2 years, and it was good, you know, but it still didn't solve any of the...
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it, the pedal commander is, it's not necessarily bad. Now, I do know some people who've had issues where the pedal commander put their truck into limp mode, but the pedal commander, it's kind of like, the way I describe it, it's like a chocolate chip,
yeah,
and the tune's kind of like the entire chocolate chip cookie cake. You get a whole lot more for, what is it, $50 to $100 more than what a pedal commander costs.
Right.
So it's a significant more, like you significantly get more adjusted. You get an engine, transmission, or an engine and a transmission calibration. So everything's been altered slightly. Everything's still happy within that safety threshold. No check engine lights, nothing like that is are altered by any means. OTT actually is also now SEMA certified, so we're legal, but EPA compliant and legal in 49 states. We're just waiting on the California CARB to come back.
Wow.
Yep, so it's fully legal in 49 states.
Oh my God, those shifts are so smooth. Holy cow.
That's how it should have come.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Wow. Yeah, instantaneous difference. That is crazy. I always just assumed it's because I'm at 78,000 miles and my, transmission's starting to get up there in age that, it starts to get some harder shifts. I actually just did a drain and fill.
Perfect, yep.
Probably about, 500 miles ago. And I am planning on doing 3 of those in succession with each oil change, just to kind of like get more of that fluid exchange.
Exactly, yeah.
But wow, this is a huge difference.
Yeah, transmission, I service, drain, refill it every 30,000 miles.
Yeah.
Toyota normally says 60, but they'll tell you 30 if you do a lot of towing or a lot of off-roading, and with the amount of wheeling I do, it just makes sense. I do everything, so my transmission transfer case is done every 30. My diffs are actually done every 15 to 20. That's what ECGS recommends, so I do those every 15 to 20. The more you use the truck, the more you just, got to keep up to date with all that kind of stuff. Just make sure everything's happy. So you're in ECT now, so the gears are going to hold a little bit longer.
Yep.
Going to be a little bit more responsive. Yeah, you can, wherever you want to go, test drive. Make sure you're happy with the mild medium. If we need to make any adjustments, we can. Definitely the most popular tune, though, is mild medium.
Yep, yep.
A couple guys will go with the medium spicy, and then about 2 weeks later, hey man, can we dial that down a little bit? It's a little jumpy. I'm like, yep, no problem.
Yeah, I'm cool with the truck being a little bit more on the slower side on the get-go, because I mean it's a truck. You don't expect it to be fast.
You're also not always on the interstate. You're driving around parking lots. You're driving around a neighborhood or anything like that. I don't want it to be too jumpy, especially when you go over a speed bump and you give it gas. You don't want to kind of jerk you back in the seat.
Oh yeah.
That spicy, super spicy tune. Those are personal preference kind of things. It depends on the kind of your driving preferences, your driving style preferences.
Yep, yep.
Some people really like it. Some people really don't. And I'm one of the ones that kind of don't. I prefer a lighter, mild tune.
I can't help but feel that constantly having that hard change in throttle response, or I guess acceleration, really, is going to be detrimental to the gears or to the drivetrain. I don't know if it really is.
Yeah, but I have yet to see anything from that.
Yeah.
No issues that we know of, really, especially if anybody I've tuned. Every single person I've tuned loved it, has really no complaints with it, which is great. John and Justin, the developers of the tune, obviously they have a very, very superior product on the market right now.
Right.
It shows. That's why a lot of people will recommend you get OTT. I don't do any advertisements or anything. It's all word of mouth. People find me because they read about the tune and they want the tune.
Yep. Holy cow. Well, you can definitely feel a massive difference right off the bat.
Everything's smoother. The truck feels happier.
It does.
There's no more jerkiness, especially that throttle hesitation. That's a big one. Gear hunting and throttle hesitation are normally the 2 biggest complaints. And the hesitation's completely gone now. There is no more throttle lag whatsoever. It's significant change, and you give it gas, it's going to go every single time.
Yep. Well, there you have it, my guys. I now have an Overland torque tune installed on my Tacoma, and this is mind-blowingly different. It is 1,000% better, and this is just the initial feel of it. I went for a short drive, and as you saw, it's incredible. I instantly notice that the shifting is smooth, which I didn't think it was gonna change kind of how the transmission accomplished a shift, but it is. I don't feel, a thud or a bump of the transmission trying to get you into the next gear, which did get better whenever I did my fluid flush a few weeks ago. But it's insane how much different it is. The output, like, bam, shift, nothing. It's linear, it's continuous, it's comfortable. I don't know, it feels so good. So I'm gonna drive around with it for, I don't know, a week or two, just kind of get a feel for the tune, and then I'll do another one of those tests, basically running the same track that I did for the stock tune, where I have, you know, this gauge, oh, not that one, this one pulled up for you guys so that you can see all the things. And then I'll give you a more, I guess, educated opinion after driving for a little bit and getting a feel for it. But initial thoughts, I am freaking in love with this. It is for sure changed the feeling of this truck. Well, it has been about a week or so since I had the Overland torque tune installed, and I gotta say, I'm absolutely in love with it. It makes this truck drive so much better. It's so much more fun. It feels like an automatic. It feels like a car, you know? Like it's gonna do what I want it to do. And so we're driving this same stretch here. Unfortunately, I got a little bit of traffic, which is gonna make me slow down. Dang it. So we're gonna do a little bit of a get-go. Nothing too hard. Pretty much the same amount of gas pressure that I was giving before, only this time I'm not varying the amount of throttle that I'm giving it. You can see the throttle position over here on the left. I am just holding it in that same spot up to the speed limit, and it maintains, you know. It is crazy how linear and continuous the acceleration is with the Overland torque tune. And something that's interesting is the creators, the manufacturers of the Overland torque tune, these two guys that own the company have put a Tacoma on a dyno for over 35,000 miles in order to get this tune to where it is. And the other thing is that they started from scratch. So some of those other like Orange Virus tunes and all that whatever are based on like the KD Max, or, you know, they build off of somebody else's tune. The Overland torque tune does not. They took a ground zero, effectively. I don't know if they just start with the stock tune maybe from Toyota, that I don't know, but they take whatever their baseline is, start from that, and then build this tune from the ground up with 35,000 miles on the dyno. So here we go again with another general acceleration. I put a little bit more throttle on it, and man, it just goes. You know, it feels like it does whenever I would floor it in the other tune, which I just, the factory tune, which I don't like flooring this truck on the factory tune, because it feels like the truck is just struggling, like it doesn't want to be pushing that hard, or that you're pushing it too hard. But with this tune, it's like it's nothing. It's like it doesn't even care. Awesome. So now we're sitting in 55 miles an hour. We're in 6th gear, unlocked because I started going downhill and it was going to be doing some engine braking on me. So now we're locked up, still chilling 55, slight incline. Would have already kicked down to 5th, would have already kicked down to 4th. There it goes into 5th, unlocked. And I would have been in 4th right now at 3,000 RPM with that slight uphill. We're cresting the hill, still in 5th. Lock up, 6th, bam. That's crazy. I'm gonna do another quick acceleration clip here. Nothing too crazy because we're crossing over a road with a whole bunch of railroad tracks and stuff. Now I will say that the point at which your throttle will actually respond in the truck is very, very shallow. It's kind of like, that was heavy, being in sport mode on the pedal commander when I had that for a while, for any of y'all that have ever run with a pedal commander. So here we are again on that same stretch of road. Hopefully, traffic willing, I'll be able to maintain cruise control set. So I've got it set for 50 miles an hour right now, as you can see in the center. I don't know how this all looks. I know it's dark outside, so the camera's going to be trying to, you know, close up the aperture, or sorry, open up the aperture in order to pull in more light, but then that makes the dashboard all super bright. I don't know, the human eyes are crazy, and I'm not going to be able to. So hopefully this is actually coming out relatively clear so that you can see the dash, and then also my throttle position, current gear, lockup status, and engine load. As you can see, the truck has been maintaining 5th gear this whole time. I'm going to have to kill the thing because people suck. But On the old tune, it would have been trying to upshift to 6th gear at some point during that straight stretch, right? Maybe not. It was kind of confusing. There was no kind of judging when the truck was going to want to go to 6th gear. But the point is that it would upshift, go to 6th, and then like 45 seconds, if that, later, it'll downshift to 5th, and then potentially even downshift to 4th, because 6th gear wasn't giving it enough to be able to maintain cruise, which is super not what I want. So, as you can see, we maintained 5th gear with the lockup, and it performed. It just kept it. It held it. Sweet. So we are at 60 miles an hour. This is the same stretch like the usual, or the one that we did from before the Overland Torque Tune, and we will see what the car does on the road. So before, it was kind of jumping between 5th and 6th, not really wanting to stay in 6th, but trying to always put it in 6th. But as you can see, we've been pretty much kind of maintaining 6th, even with that slight uphill that we had a second ago. Now it's dropped down to 5, which it is a little bit more of an incline, but I expect that when we level out and start going downhill again, the truck is going to maintain in 5th gear. The other nice thing is the truck will, I don't think it'll shift into 6th gear unless I'm above 50 miles an hour. Okay, we're coming up to a red light here. Do another little one of those little takeoff runs. I'm not going to give it any crazy throttle. You'll be able to see my throttle position over here on the left. I think before I was keeping it somewhere between 20 and 30, probably right around 25, and just kind of letting the car do what it does. So keeping right around that 25-ish. I guess I'm keeping more closer to 29. And we're there. Much smoother, much more linear. So here's another acceleration, just kind of keeping up with traffic. I'm going to move into the left lane because this guy's going slow, but this is giving it more of the beans, but not all of the beans. And man, it feels so good to drive this truck now. It doesn't have any hesitation. Ooh. Gotta love the new paved road, don't we? Holy crap, man. The city did not do a good job on this section at all.
There you have it, my guys. I don't really know what else to say. The Overland Torque Tune, or Overland Tailor Tuning Tacoma Tune is good. You know, what everybody is talking about, it's getting talked up all over the internet, and it deserves to be because they did a great job with this tune. I will say they didn't, or the tune does not fix a lot of the gear hunting issues that we have with the Tacoma. I don't understand enough about engine tunes, transmission tunes, power bands. I don't know enough about it to be able to really explain why the Tacoma kind of sucks in that standpoint. Could be a gearing issue. I don't know. But what I can say is that the transmission is much more likely to maintain a gear. It's much more likely to, you know, choose where it wants to be and stick with that decision due to the terrain that you're driving on. Obviously, you can do many things to override this. All of the tests that I did with this was with cruise control engaged, unless I was actively accelerating, obviously. So it's the computer deciding what it wants to do based on the engine load that it is given in order to, you know, maintain the speed that I ask it to maintain. So I think that the Overland Tailor Tuning Tacoma Tune is incredible. I think they did a very, very good job, and I'm excited for all of the future, I don't know, time that I get to spend kind of messing around with it and testing it out. I haven't done a trip yet that requires it to be in 4 low, so I don't know how well it's going to do in the low gears or anything like that. But from a highway standpoint, if you own a Tacoma and you are bothered by the gear hunting, which, like I said, it doesn't entirely fix it, but it makes it a little bit better. If you're bothered by the throttle lag of the gas pedal, and when it actually engages to start causing the truck to move, I would recommend this tune. If I'm fully honest, I would do it again, and I am very, very happy that I had it done. So this is a very opinionated video. Obviously, it's not really something based on just the, hey, look at this new thing that I got for my Taco, and look at how it can crawl over this rock better. It's nothing like that. But it's definitely something that I thought was necessary and I really wanted to have done, and I thought that I would share it with all of you. So I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please come back and see me. The channel is growing. We are almost to 300 subscribers right now, which is freaking incredible. I cannot thank you enough, and that's your support is what's motivating me to continue to grow the channel, to continue to work on this, to play the games, to do the Taco upgrades, to do the speed upgrades, and to get those videos recorded and edited and posted so that you guys can see them. I am a one-man show, so a little bit slow, but I get them out when I can, and it shows that you guys are enjoying them with your support. So thank you, I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Midnight Sun out.